Good day everyone, I am Rizeda MKO. Today I will discuss about the timeline of these treaties between the government of the Philippines and the Muslim Filipinos. Particularly, focusing in my assigned topic which is the Marcos negotiation with the MNLF and Aquino process with MNLF. So let's begin in Marcos negotiation with the MNLF. So in 1969, the Moro National Liberation Front was established. The Moro National Liberation Front MNLF was founded in 1969 to fight for the right of Muslim Filipinos in the southern Philippines. Led by Nur Misuari, the MNLF sought autonomy and recognition for the marginalized Moro community. Despite challenges, their efforts led to the signing of Tripoli Agreement in 1976, granting autonomy. The MNLF legacy inspires ongoing quest for peace and empowerment in the region. In 1972, the MNLF engaged in an armed struggle for independence with governments after President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law on September 21, 1972. In 1972, the Moro National Liberation Front MNLF initiated an armed struggle for independence against the government following President Ferdinand Marcos' declaration of martial law on September 21, 1972. This marked a significant escalation in the conflict between the MNLF and the government, leading to a period of heightened violence and unrest in southern Philippines. In 1976, President Marcos signed the Tripoli Agreement between the government of the Philippines and MNLF that grants the autonomy to the Moro. In 1976, President Ferdinand Marcos signed the Tripoli Agreement between the government of the Philippines and the Moro National Liberation Front MNLF. This historic agreement granted autonomy to the Moro people, marking a crucial step towards addressing the grievances and aspirations of the Muslim population in the southern Philippines. In 1979, the President issued Presidential Decree number 1618 that issued the implementation of Regions 9 and 11 as part of the autonomy. In 1975, President Ferdinand Marcos issued Presidential Decree number 1618 which implemented the autonomy provisions by creating Regions 9 and 10 as part of the autonomy framework. This decree aimed to further solidify the autonomy granted to the Moro people in southern Philippines, reflecting efforts to institutionalize self-governance and addressing the historical grievance of the Muslim population in the region. In 1984, after disagreement of many Moro on the decree of autonomy, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front MILF was created out of MNLF. In 1984, due to disagreement among many Moros regarding of decree of autonomy, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front MILF was established as a splinter group from Moro National Liberation Front MNLF. The creation of the MILF marked a significant development in the dynamics of conflict in the southern Philippines, showcasing the complexities and divergent paths within the Moro resistance movement. So let's begin in Aquino process with the MNLF. So in 1986 to 1992, Corazon Aquino succeeded Marcos and resumed peace talk with the MNLF. produced the JEDA according in 1987 is an attempt to further discussion on a democratic process for Mindanao. This was ultimately restricted by the 1987 Constitution. During the period from 1986 to 1992, following the outsiding of Ferdinand Marcos, Corazon Aquino succeeded him as the President of the Philippines and resumed peace talks with the Moro National Liberation Front MNLF. The Aquino administration efforts led to the production of the JEDA according to 1987, aiming to facilitate discussion on establishing a democratic process for Mindanao. However, the implementation of the JEDA according was constrained by the provision of the 1987 Constitution, which posed challenges to the full realization of the autonomy and self-governance and visions for the region. So in the 1989, the government provided the Organic Act for the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao ARMM. Following a plebiscite, the MNLF rejected the Organic Act as well as the plebiscite formulated ARMM. Thus, negotiations were halted until 1982. So in 1989, the government introduced the Organic Act for Autonomous Region in Muslims Mindanao ARMM. After the plebiscite was conducted, however, the Moro National Liberation Front MNLF rejected both the Organic Act and the plebiscite that established the ARMM. As a result of the MNLF, opposition negotiations were suspended until 1992, reflecting the challenges and complexities surrounding the case for autonomy and self-governance in the southern Philippines.
Good day everyone, I'm Yasang Ginilak. I will discuss the continuation of timeline of peace treaties between the government of the Philippines and the Muslim Filipinos. Let's start. Ramos process with Moro National Liberation Front. In 1996, final agreement on the implementation of 1976 Tripoli Agreement was signed between the Philippines government and Moro National Liberation Front. The final agreement on the implementation of the 1976 Tripoli Agreement, signed in 1996, was a key part of the Philippines peace process under President Fidel Ramos, often referred to as the Ramos Process. The agreement marked a significant step toward peace in the southern Philippines. It provided a clear path to establish a genuine autonomous region, addressing a key demand of MNLF. However, the process faced challenges, including delays and continued violence. The agreement was intended as a two-stage process. First, the Phase 1, 3 years transition period to join Moro National Liberation Front's elements to the armed forces of the Philippines and undergo intensive socio-economic rehabilitation in the region. Second, the Phase 2 consists of the devolution of powers and repeal of the Organic Act, Republic Act 6734. This agreement aimed to finally fulfill the promises of the 1976 Tripoli Agreement. It established a two-phase process. First, the Phase 1. In Phase 1, it focused on the setting of the framework for peace and development. This included creating a special zone of peace and development, a Southern Philippines Council for Peace and Development to oversee the process, and a consultative assembly for community input. Additionally, it allowed qualified MNLF members to join Philippine military and police. Second is the Phase 2. In Phase 2, it involved amending or repealing the existing Organic Act for the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao and holding a plebiscite to determine the establishment of a new, potentially expanded autonomous government. Now let's talk about the domestic stage process with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. In 1996, new peace process began with what the Moro Islamic Liberation Fronts describe as the domestic stage, where solely internal actors participate and negotiate in peace talk that focuses on the establishment and maintenance of ceasefire and create a suitable environment to the further progress in discussion of the Bansang Moro question. The domestic stage marked a new chapter in the peace process between the Philippines government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, following the 1996 agreement with the Moro National Liberation Front. This initial stage focused on practical steps to stop the fighting and create a more peaceful atmosphere. It aimed to build a foundation of trust before tackling the complex political issues surrounding the Bansang Moro question. The success of the domestic stage would pave the way for later discussion on power-sharing agreements and the future of the Bansang Moro region. The Bansang Moro question refers to a long-standing grievances of Muslim population in Mindanao, particularly their desire for self-determination and greater autonomy within the Philippines. 2000 Agreement on General Framework for the Resumption of Peace Talk was signed, establishing the international community in the peace talk, beginning the diplomatic stage of peace talk. The agreement on the general framework for the resumption of peace talk between the government of the Republic of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front was signed in 2000. This agreement aimed to restart peace negotiations that had stalled previously. It reaffirmed prior ceasefire agreements and committed both parties, which is the Philippines government and Moro Islamic Liberation Front, to return to the negotiating table. The agreement did not necessarily establish a completely new role for the international community, but it likely acknowledged their ongoing presence as facilitators or observers in the peace process. By formalizing channels and recommitting to talks, the agreements can be seen as a shift towards a more diplomatic stage in resolving the conflict. In essence, these agreements serve as a crucial step in reviving stalled peace efforts and moving towards a more structured, diplomatic resolution of the conflict. Now let's go on diplomatic stage, which is discussed Teacher Maylin Francisco. That's all.
Now, we are going to talk about stage process with the MILF. First, 1997. It's an agreement was made to stop hostilities between the government and the MILF. This marked the start of formal peace negotiations, while 2001 is the Tripoli Agreement was signed, outlining the main points for future talks. There are three: security, humanitarian response and development, as central territories. Security already agreed upon in 2001, focusing on maintaining peace, while humanitarian response and development agreed in 2002, focusing on helping affected communities, while a central territories discussed in 2008, addressing land rights and autonomy. While July 2008, the Memorandum of Agreement on Central Domain MOA-AD proposed the creation of a Bangsamoro juridical entity with its own system of governance. However, the Supreme Court later declared the MOA-AD unconstitutional. So, on October 2008, the government and the MILF proposed the creation of the Bangsamoro juridical entity, which would have its own police, military, and judicial system under President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo's term. Well, October 2012, It's a new framework agreement on the Bangsamoro was signed, setting the stage of creating an autonomous political entity called Bangsamoro. The signing ceremony was held at Malacañang Palace, attended by President Benignos S. Aquino III and Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, among other dignitaries. While March 27, 2014, the CAP was signed, including 70 years of negotiations, and officially recognized the establishment of the Bangsamoro. While on January 25, 2015, the Mamasapano incident occurred where 44 police officers 44 police officers and 18 rebels and 5 civilians died during a mission to capture a terrorist. Who is the terrorist? The terrorist is Zulkifli bin Hir, or alias Marwan, complicating the peace process. Well, May 20, 2015, the House Ad Hoc Committee approved the draft of the Basic Law of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region (BLBAR), and with a 50 to 17 vote and not one abstention. On August 11, 2015, the former Senator Bongbong Marcos announced that 17 senators had signed the committee report on the BBL, now renamed the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region Law. On December 8, 2015, President Aquino met with lawmakers to discuss BBL measures pending in House plenary for second reading due to the lack of quorum. On February 2016, 16 Congress failed to pass BBL. While on June 30, 2016, President Rodrigo Duterte assumed office, promising peace to passage of BBL. So, on July 19, 2017, Duterte met with MNLF leader Nur Miswari to discuss BBL and federalism. On January 25, 2008, Senators Miguel Zubiri, Sonny Angara, J.V. Ejercito, and Risa Hontiveros conducted the first public consultation in Mindanao about the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law, or known as BBL. This consultation was held in Cotabato City, located in the province of Maguindanao. The purpose of this meeting was to gather input and feedback from the local communities directly affected by the proposed law, which aims to establish a new autonomous political entity in the Bangsamoro region of Mindanao. Several months later, on May 31, 2018, the legislative bodies of the Philippines made significant progress on the BBL. On May 30, the House of Representatives voted on their version of the BBL, known as the House Bill 647-5. The bill passed with a vote count of 2 to 7 in favor, 11 against, and 2 abstentions during its third and final reading. Meanwhile, the Senate also reviewed its version of the BBL, known as Senate Bill 1717, after approximately 10 10 hours of discussion, the Senate unanimously approved the bill with a vote of 21-0 early on May 31. These legislative action were crucial step towards enacting the Bangsamoros Basic Law, which is designed to create a new autonomous region in Mindanao with greater self-governance, aimed at addressing long-standing issues and promoting peace and development in the region. Now, we are going to talk about the finalization and ratification. July 18, 2018 is the Bicameral Committee approved the final version of the BBL and now called the Organic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, OLBARMM, establishing a parliamentary democratic system led by a Chief Minister presiding over an 80-member parliament. While on July 24, 2018, the House of Representatives ratified OLBARMM under new Speaker Rep. Gloria Magapagal Arroyo, officially setting up the framework for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Regions. So that's all for diplomatic stage process with the MILF.